Buckle up and get ready for a wild ride. To make this frozen landscape your long-term home, you might need to prep by taking care of some health checks. Think wisdom teeth removal or an appendectomy ahead of schedule. But don't worry, no slithery friends or hoppy visitors are allowed here, as all the land mammals have been brought in by humans themselves. And if you thought it was dry and barren, wait until I drop this bomb. Antarctica hasn't seen a raindrop for nearly 2 million years. Yet, it's home to an astonishing 80% of our planet's freshwater stash. Talk about a cool secret. This icy giant has kept its mysteries locked beneath the surface, but when scientists finally decided to peer under the ice cap, they uncovered something that left both experts and curious minds like mine absolutely speechless. Let's dive into what's been hiding beneath those vast ice sheets. For ages, scientists thought that beneath the thick ice layers, there was nothing too exciting. Maybe some small pockets of hidden water, but that was about it. But boy, were they wrong. In the 90s, researchers had some pretty low-key expectations, but Antarctica surprised them in a massive way. Hidden under the ice lies an enormous lake, stretching an incredible 5,800 square miles or 15,000 square kilometers. To put that into perspective, it's roughly 1.5 times the size of the island of Cyprus. Get ready for some jaw-dropping numbers. The enormous lake we're talking about stretches an astonishing 4,000 feet deep and covers a massive 1,200 meters. And here's the kicker, it's only 1,450 feet or 442 meters shallower than our planet's deepest lake, Baikal. This incredible discovery was made near Russia's Vostok Polar Station, which is how this giant pond got its name. But what's truly mind-blowing is that it's hidden under an ice layer of a whopping 11,886 feet or 3,623 meters. Talk about being buried deep. Given these extreme conditions, scientists thought it was impossible for even the slightest hint of life to exist here. Buckle up for some seriously harsh facts. The temperature near this massive lake is a mind-numbing -120, 8.2 degrees Fahrenheit, or -89 Celsius. That's colder than you'd expect even on Neptune. And if that wasn't enough, the weight of ice above it generates pressure similar to what you'd find on Jupiter's icy moons. To top it all off, sunlight never touches this lake and its water is packed with an insane 50 times more nitrogen and oxygen than your average freshwater lake. Yet, against all odds, scientists have found life lurking in these extreme conditions. Talk about beating the odds. But here's where it gets even more astonishing. This alien-like environment is home to a brand new type of bacteria dubbed W12310. What makes it so unique? Well, its DNA only shares an 86% similarity with life forms back on Earth, making it 1 in a million. Scientists believe the lake has been cut off from the rest of the world for millions of years, forcing these tiny microbes to evolve entirely on their own. The implications are mind-blowing, and if that wasn't enough, researchers later uncovered evidence of an astonishing 3,500 different species calling this extreme environment home. But here's where things get really exciting. This discovery has sparked a groundbreaking hypothesis. Since these extreme environments can support life on Earth, scientists are wondering if similar conditions could harbor life elsewhere in our solar system. Imagine it, hidden subglacial lakes on Mars and Jupiter's icy moon, Europa, just waiting to be explored. And guess what? Vostok isn't alone. Antarctica is home to 2 other massive ice lakes, Willings and Ellsworth. According to Dr. John Priscu, a polar ecology expert from the University of Montana, there could be as many as 400 subglacial lakes hiding beneath our planet's icy sheets. But hold on to your curiosity. Not all icy caverns beneath Antarctica's surface are watery hideouts. Let's take the Bentley Depression under Marie Birdland's glaciers as an example. It's a staggering 8,215 feet or 2,540 meters below sea level and is actually the lowest point on land that's bone dry. This mind-blowing discovery was made possible by high-tech space sensors that have been mapping Antarctica's terrain from both above and below. What they found is pretty wild. The ice cover isn't as uniform as we thought. It's got some serious depth variations, revealing a complex icy landscape waiting to be explored. Get ready to unravel some epic secrets about our icy giant. Did you know that the ice layers in eastern Antarctica stand tall, measuring between 25 to 30 miles thick, or 40 to 48 kilometers for those using metric units? But if we head west, the situation changes dramatically. The ice here is only around 12 to 22 miles thick, or 19 to 35 kilometers. So, what's behind this cool contrast? Well, it all comes down to a hidden treasure map beneath eastern Antarctica. Scientists believe that at least 3 ancient cores of Gondwana, an enormous supercontinent that once existed, are buried underneath the ice in East Antarctica. These rocky survivors, called cratons, have withstood millions of years of Earth's intense tectonic shenanigans and now lie hidden, waiting for us to uncover their secrets. Let's dive deeper into this thrilling Antarctic mystery. These ancient cratons hidden beneath the ice are giving us major clues. One looks suspiciously like Australia's rocks, another bears an uncanny resemblance to India's geological makeup, and the third seems to match the seabed's composition. Now, when did these puzzle pieces come together? Was it a billion years ago during Rodinia's supercontinent formation, or 500 million years ago with Gondwana's rise? Whatever the timeline, after Gondwana dissolved around 160 million years ago, these cratons became part of the new continents that emerged. But how can we uncover more secrets about this ancient land? Scientists didn't just rely on satellite views. They decided to get up close and personal. Armed with a specially designed drill, about 2 feet wide, or roughly 60 centimeters, and fueled by hot water, their team began an extraordinary journey, drilling into Antarctica's frozen surface to unravel its hidden stories. After an incredible 63 hours of non-stop drilling, the research team managed to reach a staggering depth of 7,060 feet, or approximately 2,152 meters. But they didn't stop there. They started measuring water pressure and ice temperature, plus analyzing its deformation levels. Their ultimate goal, to find out when Antarctica last shed its icy cloak and when it might do so again. This groundbreaking data will be a huge step towards understanding the frozen continent's past and future. And, as if this wasn't enough, the team had plans to dig even more holes. But they weren't alone in this endeavor. Nature itself was drilling into Antarctica too. Fast forward to just a few years ago, when a massive 3,700 square mile gaping hole left people worldwide in awe. That's nearly double the size of Rhode Island. Dubbed Wormwood by researchers, this colossal crater raised eyebrows as it resembled something out of science fiction. But what caused such an enormous void? Scientists were stumped, drawing a blank since their last encounter with a hole of this magnitude was way back in the 1970s. However, after some serious sleuthing, they finally cracked the case. And guess what? This gigantic hole was actually a result of a powerful cyclone. Get ready for an extreme weather showdown. In September 2017, a jaw-dropping collision took place at the South Pole. Warm and cold air streams clashed, triggering a whirlpool effect that whipped up winds of up to 72 miles per hour, or 117 kilometers per hour. These hurricane-force gusts generated monstrous waves towering as high as 52 feet or 16 meters, which then ripped off colossal chunks of ice, forming an enormous void. But wait, there's more. The intense gales also carried warm waters into the frigid Lazarus Sea, where a thick layer of ice had been resting. And guess what? This influx of heat caused the ice to start melting at an alarming rate. As we speak, this gaping hole is only getting bigger, predicted to expand to a whopping 37,000 square miles. Mind blown. That's right, this massive hole will cover an area roughly the size of Ireland, which is a staggering 95,829 square kilometers. Torgay Martin, a weather wizard from Germany's Helmholtz Center for Ocean Research, forecasts that we can expect more cyclones to create these ice holes in the future. And here's the kicker. As our climate keeps changing, these holes will take much longer to refreeze, unleashing a rapid acceleration of ice melt in Antarctica. But don't panic just yet. Diana Francis, an atmospheric climate superstar, thinks we've got nothing to fear from these icy openings. On the contrary, she believes they could be super beneficial for our planet. By boosting circulation between the ocean and atmosphere, and even providing new feeding grounds for Antarctic animals like penguins and seals. Who knew holes in the ice could have such a cool impact? But here's the thing. Despite Francis' optimism, scientists are still keeping a close eye on these massive ice holes, because they can actually have a huge impact on our planet's oceans and climate. As it turns out, the size of these holes can disrupt ocean circulation, potentially contributing to global climate change. To keep Antarctica's icy grip in check, researchers are using some serious spy tech, satellite observations from space. And guess what? In 2019, they stumbled upon a pretty awesome discovery that gave them a glimmer of hope. Deep beneath the ice, scientists spotted an incredible geological mountain range that acts as a natural barrier between western and eastern Antarctica. This line of defense helps shield the massive Ross Glacier, the largest glacier in Antarctica, from warm ocean water, keeping it safe from melting and preventing giant chunks of ice from breaking off into the sea. Without this natural protector, a whopping 20% more Antarctic groundwater would flood into our oceans, triggering a catastrophic rise in global sea levels of up to 38 feet or 11.6 meters. But here's the catch: we're not off the hook just yet. Right next to that life-saving mountain range, another massive ice hole is quietly cooking up trouble, unleashing a serious meltdown on the Ross Glacier during the summer months. So, it's looking more and more like Antarctica's complete meltdown might be inevitable. And let this sink in. Even though it may seem far away, this frozen continent holds an enormous key to our future. A staggering 80% of the planet's fresh water is locked up in Antarctica, so if all that ice were to disappear, it would be a game changer for us, no matter where we live. Cities thousands of miles away from Antarctica could find themselves underwater, making the consequences of this ice apocalypse a reality we can't afford to ignore. Let's keep the conversation going. If you're as curious about the fate of our planet as I am, hit that like